Got to tell you about Apple's chief, Tim Cook. He's pushing for new privacy laws for tech companies, other tech companies. He wants this country to adopt laws somewhat similar to those that have been adopted by the Europeans. Look who's here. Alan Patricof. Now, he's co-founder of Greycroft, but his big deal is he's one of the original investors in Apple back in 1979. And you're a tech investor way back then, correct?
Yes, sir.
But you want to rein them in. No. You want to make them liable, I believe, for mistakes with the data that they collect. Is that right?
I think you're pushing me a little too far. What I basically have said, and what I've been reacting to what the news of yesterday and before, is GDPR, which has been instituted in Europe, has been positively accepted by the industry broadly. Everyone has adopted GDPR principles. So they're obviously been living with it. GDPR is almost a year now, I think.
But the Europeans will fine them a ton of money if they make a mistake and the data gets out, or they're crushing some small company.
All the American companies that are all operating over there, and they're all operating under those rules. So my basic impression is that those rules have been accepted by the industry. And I think that people are genuinely concerned today with their privacy. I mean, I had a conversation yesterday with a relative of mine who said he turns off the video and makes sure his computer's off at night. He makes sure that the Alexa is off. Everyone is very nervous about where data is being collected, but they're getting it from places.
Well, a lot of people cover the cameras on their phones all the time. They do that.
Exactly my point. So,
but if we adopted Europe's rules, if we adopted them here, would that radically change the business model of the Facebooks and Googles and Twitters of this world?
I think there's a little bit of overreaction from your comments of what the prices have done just this morning. I think that it's a fact of life. Privacy is front and center. They're going to have to be rules, and you're going to have to live by the rules. And I think so far the GDPR rules, the companies we've dealt with all seem to be adapting to it and are willing to live with it. So I say I think whatever rules there have to take into consideration, they can't be favorable to the FANG companies, right, and hurt small companies and make it more difficult. They've got enough problems right now of breaking through the sound barrier of the control the big companies have over advertising.
You do like Amazon, though, don't you?
I'm not questioning liking or not liking Amazon. Yes, I like Amazon. I think Amazon's great.
You like
brought costs down. I've been, it keeps coming back to haunt me. I'm concerned about what companies, social media, what online buying, what being fixated 18 hours a day on a screen is doing to our communities and our life. Alan, that's what I'm concerned with.
Alan, hey, wait a minute. You and I are about the same vintage. I mean,
don't put yourself in mind.
Okay, but do you think this is older folks like us not getting used to the technology that's being used by the youngsters? Is that part of the deal?
No, I don't think that. I think that life is just, I mean, I have grandchildren. You must have at least children if you don't have grandchildren yet.
I have 9 grandchildren.
Okay, I've got 7. And their life is all built around,
screen.
Text. You can't have dinner with them without them sitting below with the...
And you don't approve, do you?
I think it's distractive. I mean, I had a business dinner last night, and I was upset by one of the people at the dinner sitting there the entire time, and I said to him, "Is this the way you come to business dinners? You sit there with your BlackBerry underneath." Excuse me, not BlackBerry. your iPhone underneath the table. Yeah. And dating is done online. Purchasing, and Amazon happens to be one of the companies, like a lot of others. But listen, we're very in favor of direct-to-consumer marketing companies.
Yes,
we've got a fair number in our portfolio, and I just think we've got to figure a way to build our communities again, rebuilding, how we live our lives.
Forgive me, Alan. I'm moving on real fast. I've got to
come back to me, or just moving?
No, I'm moving on. I'm sorry. You're done. You're done, Alan. What can I say? What can I do? But you were good. You might be invited back. You never know.